So, B-Man, you back?
Yep. Just enjoying a nice can of cider.
Getting ready for the show.
Yeah.
Oh man, that KFC really hit the spot. Anyone try that Kentucky Fried Chicken?
Wait. Are you fuckers doing product placements on the show without filling me in on this?
Of
Nope.
course not.
Nope.
Perish the thought. Perish it out of your brain.
Seems legit. Like new Heineken Light, premium with only 90 calories per bottle. You can't go wrong. Coming up on this Linux GameCast Weekly. Steam brings the control. A developer tells critics to STFU. Humble does a thing, and Shadowrun returns. Then we threw the chairs at Bionic Dues. All this, plus your hate mail. Let's go. And welcome back to another Linux GameCast Weekly, the show that covers the latest Linux gaming news, reviews, how-tos, and more importantly, whatever the hell else we come up with. This week, not a small week, Steam finally gives us some control. Looking forward to that. 100 new games have been greenlit. Pedro's going to tell us if they're Linux compatible. Humble loses its damn mind. And we're going to throw some chairs at Bionic Dues. But let's introduce this cast of horribleness. The Beast from the East. Drinking Pepsi from KFC. Master Swing.
It's very, very empty. It's a dry drink.
Good. And all the way from Portugal, the giggling death himself, Mr. Mateus.
I'm not dead. Unlike some comments, I'm not.
No, you're dead, Pedro. You just don't know it yet.
Ghost in the machine, man. You've been barometered.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, one more right here. The worst of the worst, the darkest of dark. The trolliest of trolls, that's you, the people. Shadowrun
The
Dynamic. We do this
Shadowrun.
live every week. You can find us at linuxgamecast.com/live around 9 p.m. EDT. If you're in the twitch.tv chat realm, have fun talking to whoever's in there, because we're not. We're on IOC, and we mock you.
Yes. Though it won't be EDT for long. Daylight savings is ending soon.
Right. This is just.
I know. I know this because Google Calendar told me.
Brilliant.
Technically, it already ended.
Oh, listen to Future Boy over here.
Oh yeah, Mr. I live in the future. Doop. I live 5 hours in the future. Or was it 6? I don't remember. It's not important.
No, it's
What
not.
is-
What is
what-
important? Making
what
the
is
whoring.
Yes. You can find us at linuxgamecast.com/podcast. We have a lovely, lovely webpage there. Has some RSS feeds for HD, SD, and SDN video and audio. We got Amazon affiliate links, a handy e-stocking guide, a donate buttons if you want to throw wet stinky cashes at us, which you should, even though you probably don't want to, because we command it. Other than that, we have Chat Realm statically linked. We told you about the chat room, but have you seen the message board? That's at linuxgamecast.com/discussion/2. You can sign up with any account you want. If you have a Facebook or Twitter or an Identica or a Diaspora, probably not Diaspora, but anyways, that's a thing. Yeah, we also have our YouTube page, youtube.com/LinuxGameCast, where look at this guy. He's all pasty and translucent. Leave Francisco alone. Yeah, there's all sorts of videos there. Players, reviews, B-reels, whatnot. We have a Facebook page run by some Aztec guy, I think. I don't know. It's really not important because we're on like Google Plus and Twitter and other social networks.
But if you're not there, drop us a like.
If you're not there, talk to this guy. He's really looking forward to your phone calls. He's really very lonely.
Yes.
But anyways, there's also our second favorite Kiwi, Linux_gaming or Reddit.com. It's a subreddit. It's about Linux gaming. That's pretty self-explanatory. Don't you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I guess we kind of skipped what we were up to this week. Ben, how's the barometering going?
Haven't really barometered anything as of late.
Aside from Pedro.
Shh. Kinky as it sounds. The only thing I have going on tomorrow, we're going to make this a quick show for once, which I just blew that chance now. I'm sure the live show will be 9 hours.
Oh, no. We're going to keep you here for hours, man.
Right, because I want to get up early tomorrow to do the maintenance on the Volkswagen.
It's slow motion.
It's going to take a while. Got hit on by some geriatrics. That was kind of strange the other day. That's a story for another week when we have it's a bit of a story.
Oh,
So,
man.
how about you? I hear you you coming to the fold, man. You're coming to the flock.
I caved. I saw the announcement and I'm like, damn, I want me some of that. So I ordered me a Nexus 5 and I'll see it in 5 to 6 weeks.
How many weeks?
5 to 6.
Brilliant.
And down here in Mexico land, in Android-related news, I finally updated my phone to 4.3 using the open source Mookie OS.
The hell's that?
And yeah, it's
Android.
really nice. It includes the overclock kernel and everything.
Because
I
that's
like
what you
it.
want to do with your phone. Increase the power consumption.
No, it's not just overclock, it allows undervolting as well. So, yeah, I like it. I really do.
Well, that's all great. How about we roll up a ball of gray matter and throw it at the children in a form of a
Ooh.
public service
I
announcement.
prefer some blue crystal, to be perfectly honest. But
Crystal blue?
Crystal blue.
No, check out this PSA, man. It does come from actual Shadowrun Static, what we are the other 6 days of the week, and it's from Linux Neuro.
Nuru. All the way from fucking Tanzania.
Fucking Tanzanians, man. What are you gonna do with them?
Well, apparently you play Bionic Dues over there because Linux Neuro found a way to cheat to get more monies in the game.
Oh, mo money, mo problems.
Yep.
Yes.
So apparently the save files are just plain text files. And if you edit the values, you can literally give yourself more money in your save. Linux Neuro even dropped us a couple of Perl scripts to print out the file and
What?
yeah, he says, here's the Perl script I used to help determine the findings, and the second script just to print how much money that save has.
Now, if that
So-
doesn't scream virgin enough for you, there's more. But wait, it gets
There's
better.
more.
But wait, there's more.
One of the developers helped me out by giving me a snippet of the source code. Looking at the code, if you want to find it on the first try, bear in mind that the order just before that field is, then we have some output buffers. So you know those values is not too hard to find. Nice links and all that. That could be helpful, you know. I mean, it's hard to not endorse it when the developer's like, oh, that's kind of neat here.
Yep.
Yeah. Here's the
Infinite
source
money.
code.
Bionic Dues. That game just got a ton easier.
So, speaking of dues, we need to pay our dues, and
Worship at the altar of Gabe.
we need to
Give our offerings of a rancid horse.
Well, rancid horse. Technically, it's illegal to eat in North America, but not
Technically.
Not for Gabe. He
No.
can eat whatever he wants.
But it's that time.
It's our Steam
Linux
update
of
of the week.
Oh, so much energy this week, gentlemen.
Oh yeah,
Tons.
I'm just brimming.
Steam rises to 65 million active users faggots. Eclipsing.
That's like a
PC
that's like
gaming's
a year,
dead, Jim.
Dinosaurs have been dead.
No,
Yeah.
the only reason I threw that in is because Eclipse Xbox Live, and this comes from TheVerge.com and all the way from No Shitsville. Now, blew my brain organ, because everyone in the media and the press, the tech press, have been shoving in my ear pussies that PC gaming's dead, bro.
Yeah,
Oh,
they've been saying
totally.
that for a few years now.
It's not like everyone has a computer and will occasionally play games on it.
Yeah.
It's not like it's also a free service that anyone can sign up for.
And there's tons of free games on it.
And
Yeah.
Microsoft only has 48 million accounts, around half of whom reportedly paid extra for a gold subscription to play online.
Oh, yeah, that's right. If you're on the Xbox, you have to pay for multiplayer.
Yes. And apparently you're going to have to do it with Sony from here on in as well.
Dude, there's no escape unless you go to Linux. Oh yeah.
So who is ready for this?
More haptic feedback.
My nipples are really hard because of that.
Yeah, hang on. I gotta wait for my vision to return from my screaming erection.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my.
Steam controllers and Steam configs. What is this? Well, if you try to click on it right now, it's a whole lot of nope. But
Yeah.
hopefully in the future, it will allow you to configure your X-Clone or whatever the hell you have.
Areola controller.
Yep.
Something like that. And I just wanted to make distance work with a controller. I'll settle for that. It won't make me happy, but yeah.
Yeah, and from what they say that the Areola controller is going to be, it's just going to be... It's basically Q joypad with the with an actual physical interface dedicated to just that, emulating keyboard strokes with a controller. And the more I see and hear of it, yeah, and the more I see and hear of it, the more I want to twiddle with it. You know,
Yeah,
Valve-
you want to stimulate it on the pads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All over those
See if you can
pads.
get a reaction from your computer.
Do you want to play with it, J-Man?
I kind of do. I kind of want to play with Gabe's nips.
Sweet. So that's coming. We don't know when. It's there, just no executable at this point.
It's a 0-byte download.
Yeah.
Doesn't even download anything.
Understandable, really, considering the hardware it's supposed to support isn't really out.
Out yet. Yeah.
Sucks for you beta testers. Tell us about this, P-Man.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
this
green
is
with it.
the October 29th batch of 100 new greenlit titles. And 39 of which actually claim Linux support, and I
Absolutely,
went
3079.
through the excruciating task of going through each and every single one of those one by one, and
And
I
the
found-
best part is he volunteered to do that.
yeah, no one asked me, and basically what I found were shitty ports of shitty Android games, more rogue clones than I care to admit, at least 10 Unity games that the developers refuse to push export to Linux when they export it to Mac as well. But all that aside, I am looking forward to After Reset, Estranged, Festival of Magic, Pulse, and You Are Not the Hero. Those I want to play.
Well, I like a good anti-hero. What's You're Not the Hero about?
You Are Not the Hero is you're playing as an NPC. Basically, yeah.
So,
You end up
it's
being the
like
hero.
a quest giver outer simulator. I need you to collect 69 boarheads for me so I can fuck each and every one of them.
Yeah, you're an NPC
you could have
that
left
runs.
that last bit of information out. Nope. Gonna fuck them. Make them big
No.
boarheads too.
Make them bleed.
I'll give you like 8,000 experience. They don't. There's no budget on this. I can do whatever the fuck I want. 8,000 experience for 64,000 boarheads.
Oh,
I will
you didn't read Yahtzee's Smog World, did you? There's a really finicky economy going around the XP system. But no, it's those games I'm actually looking forward to. The rest of them, I'm sort of glad they're not coming to Linux.
So yeah,
Yes.
nothing huge in here. Then.
Nope.
Zom Half-Life 3 confirmed.
Zom.
Anyways, it's some good news for us Fedora users or Fedora derivative users out there. Steam is now in RPM Fusion testing repos, which
this
is
mean?
nice. What?
Well, what's it mean?
What's it mean? It means that you can yum install Steam.
But there's hard words and codes and things on that. Clearly, an Arch user could not understand
No,
such moon
it's
speakers.
not. Well, it's not really for an Arch user. I would be kind of shocked if an Arch user went through the time and effort of getting RPM and Yum working on Arch. I think you'd have to be as crazy as an Arch user to try that out. But now you could Yum install Steam for a while. Spot, one of the Red Hat devs, has actually been hosting it for a while, but now it's in RPM Fusion, which is a popular, well-known, and frequently used Fedora repository. So there you go. Makes it a little easier to install Steam on the Linux.
Pretty neat, but Pedro, it's a real boy, eh?
Yep, it's a real boy now. Left 4 Dead 2 is finally out of beta. And it took him, what, 9 months-ish? Since their first announcement that it was running it. No, wait, it was more than 9 months.
See, this is
About a
where my
year.
joke of tell me about it, I've never heard of it, just falls. There's no point trying to pull that. Right
Well,
now.
it's Left 4
Yeah.
Dead 2. It's a co-op survival zombie game.
Okay, Pedro.
With a source engine.
Everyone knows what Left 4 Dead 2 is. That's like saying, you know when you grab an orange out of the fridge, the color of that fruit is orange.
And it does
Yeah,
not
fair
rhyme
enough.
with anything.
Door hinge.
Nothing at all.
Door hinge. Like you
But
fall
yeah.
on sometimes after you've had too much.
After about a year since Valve claimed they got Left 4 Dead 2 running in their Linux, it's officially out of beta, and on my end, it's about damn time because there's no more FPS hitching. Everything on 11 using the open source drivers runs swimmingly.
Well,
Good
that's
times.
good.
Well, I'm glad they did this. And to be clear, helps clear some of the confusion because we had Left 4 Dead 2 beta, but then we had Left 4 Dead 2 not beta.
Yeah, no, and
Yep.
we had them side by side as well for the longest time, and then they decided, oh, that might get confusing. Yoink.
So now the Left 4 Dead 2 beta, you'll be playing on the beta servers with a new source. Now it's just regular Left 4 Dead 2. Everyone can circle jerk around till you're bored. And I hear there's a really new, fantastic map about Disneyland that I want to play.
Disneyland.
Going to
Disney.
Disneyland.
But you know what? That seemed a bit forced, don't
Really.
you think?
Just a bit.
So forced version 1.03 is out, and they have some fixes. Mainly for Linux, they have issues preventing players from proceeding past the starting screen, Pedro, and fix some issues with the mark system not working under Linux. They also have some general and network improvements, which they kind of desperately need because when we were playing this,
That
yeah,
was bad.
it was
Yeah, it was-
bad. Maybe we'll give this another try once after the show's done, but who knows?
Be bad.
Yeah, I mean, granted, when you and I, when we played a couple of weeks back,
Doctor,
it
what?
didn't crash. It actually managed to hold itself up.
Wait,
for
you
long
mean
enough.
after it spent 10 minutes denying me any chance of inputting a proper root
Yes.
So I just
Even
gave up
after that.
and reverted?
Even after that, but they don't mention any fix regarding that particular snafu.
Well,
So,
we'll
I don't
see
know.
if it works.
And if you're on metered bandwidth, keep in mind that this little update with those little 1.4 gigs. So
Oh yeah,
Yep.
it's a good size update. But you know what? Guns of Icarus has been out for a while, and they want to celebrate that by having another massive update.
About a year now.
Complete with fancy hats. And until
Fancy
November
hats,
the 5th,
voice
which
commands.
is probably going to be when this episode gets released, you can get fancy anniversary hats.
Yeah, that's one thing I've never dug about that part of the game is the hey,
Yeah,
you
have
can
to
buy
pay
clothes
for
and
the
all that. No,
But the changelog in this is quite massive. They have a lot of AI fixes. They have a lot of
and
graphical
apparently you can
fixes.
LGBT your ship now. All right.
Oh yeah, you know what? That's good. No, it's pretty
Fly
big.
your
They have a whole whack of new features too. One of the cool ones is speech priority. So if you're the captain, you will always drown out your subordinates, and then like the next lower guys will always drown out the next lower guys, and so on and so forth. I thought that was a really cool feature for when you have like your captain. But
yeah, they
it's-
added voice
it's a
commands for
fairly big
teams
changelog.
that don't speak
You
the
can
same
check
language.
that out at gunsvicarous.com.
All right, so that looks good. And Pedro, you had some thoughts about it.
Oh yeah, I've already mentioned this when we covered their previous update a couple of months ago, and I will say it again. If they had a publisher like EA or Activision, this would be called DLC, and it would cost like $20 or $30. They're still doing it right.
Activision. I actually kind of like that.
Where did you steal that from?
Yeah.
I thought everyone knew that. It's Activision.
Just to
It's
make sure no one was
Activision
under the
with Blizzard.
illusions that he coined that. Just wanted to.
Yeah. He's really not that clever.
No,
You-
it's
you
been
should-
around the
You
internet.
should, you
for a
should see the
while.
articles we post on the website before I get a crack at them. It's comedy gold. I'll tell you that. Makes you want to run to the shadows, doesn't it, Pedro?
Yep. And this time, the Shadowruns return, or Shadowrun Returns, as the case may be, and it's finally out of beta for Linux. Except,
You know, if you have
Steam.
returning Shadowrun, there's like a pill for that.
I use a bit of cream. It's personal preference. But
Wait. No,
according
this
to-
was Shadowrun Returns, and this came from a very successful Kickstarter.
Yeah,
they
almost
wanted
$200,000.
400,000 Wet Stinky and got 1.8 million Wet Stinky.
Yep.
So yeah, and all right, I didn't back this. Somebody who's backed this, fill in my brain organ. It's been in beta for Linux, yes or no, for some time,
3 weeks.
and now
Ish.
it's out of beta.
And now it's out of beta, supposedly.
Though I did purchase the game today to try it out, and you do actually need to enroll in the beta program in order to play it under Linux still, despite it being
Hence the
officially
supposedly.
released.
Well, since you threw down some quid on it, what are your thoughts? How much, by the way?
I paid $20 for it. I didn't care because whatever. I didn't feel like waiting for Pedro to get off his lazy butt and get us some keys. It's kind of cute. It reminds me of, it's trying to do Neverwinter Nights, but for Shadowrun, which is a much more complicated game. So it's kind of like a cute little retarded up version of actual Shadowrun that you can play by
Yeah.
yourself on your computer.
And what it ends up looking
I made
like
the mistake of
is-
using a melee character, so I got shot a bunch and died fairly early on because apparently a tank top can't deflect bullets, much to my dismay. It's interesting. I'm gonna give it a little more time. I'm actually very interested to see some of the custom content that people are going to be generating for it, because that was one of my favorite features of
Giant
Neverwinter
purple
Nights.
dongs.
Giant purple dongs that you can beat people to death with. It's like Saints Row, but with elves and orcs.
Pedro, I heard you.
Yep.
Peep.
I was a little disappointed. Like Jordan said, they tried to do what Neverwinter did with Dungeons and Dragons, and it ended up being not what I was expecting. They could have probably gotten away with a system like Fallout, but they didn't. And what it looks like at this point, it's basically Arma Tactics with a fantasy sci-fi do-over. And don't get me wrong, it's great in its own merit. It's great in its own merit, it's just not what I particularly had hoped for.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's
So-
beautiful.
Well, you know what,
Yes.
Pedro, you can eat a bag of dicks.
You can eat a bag
No.
of dicks.
You can
Everyone
eat a bag
gets
of
a bag of dicks.
Bees! No.
Bees.
This comes from one of my new favorite people.
Yes.
No More Room in Hell developer.
I had to
Max.
jump through some hoops to get into their beta, but
Yeah. Anyway, again, we played for a while. I'll just summarize this best as possible. Somebody, well, here, we'll role play. I'll be the developer and you be the whiny bitch.
So many children. I don't want to shoot children. They're so cute, and I have to shoot dead babies. Take it off the store.
Eat a bag of dicks.
that's pretty much pretty much how it went. It's like, we are not going to
Pretty
compromise
much.
our artistic vision because you feel a bit squicky. It's supposed to be disturbing. It's the zombie apocalypse, you twats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, after reading this, go ahead.
No, I may, No More Room in Hell may not be my favorite game. I actually don't like it all that much, but I like the devs a whole lot more now.
Well, with that bag of dicks successfully
You know what
sucked
I
off-
realized? That with his avatar, we should have made an over-the-line joke.
This isn't Nom. There are rules here.
Yes.
Shut the fuck up, Donna. You're out of your element.
All right, let's knock the dicks out of our mouths and put our bags away, but let's go ahead and slide that bag in with a horse and pack it up for another
Yes.
week.
So yeah,
Oh yeah.
up next, after we wipe that smegma from our mouths, the news.
And now, with those teeny tiny tidbits of rancid horse shoved back in the corner, it's time to get into some actual news. And Ven, are you ready to
Let's get ready to enforce our pre-existing rules, which, this one I'm mixed on, and this is a Twitter tweet thing from the Twitterverses from the home.
A Twitter tweet. I'm sorry. I thought that was a MySpace tweet.
Nope, it's from twitter.com.
Semantics, ladies and gentlemen, semantics.
So, the Humble Bundlers, they say, they'd like to apologize to all customers who are unhappy about the new Steam Key Auth redemption process. They are listening to the feedback. Now, you're wondering, what does this mean? Why is this concern anything? Basically, what they've done. Now, in the past, in this horrible train wreck, they decided to let you buy a bundle and redeem your keys separately for, now that Steam's a thing on Linux, which was kind of handy because I'd buy a bundle and it's like, well, they're for that game. And the other games, I'm like, all right, well, we'll just give those keys away, which is great. We do that very often, and sometimes we do whole bundles and just buy a whole bundle and give the bundle away. They didn't like that.
Not much excuse to do that lately.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. You can't do that anymore because reasons. Apparently, that's always been a thing with Humble. It's like, you're not allowed to share or redistribute your Steam keys. And, alright, I get it, because people were abusing the fuck out of the system.
Yeah.
They were buying the 1 cent bundles multiple
And
times
and
over.
selling them, actually.
Right, then turning around and reselling the keys. You should be able to stop that. But no, now it's tied to your account, so you get that one bundle, and it goes to your Steam account. Am I getting that about halfway right? Anyone have further insight on this?
I had a look at it, and the way it is, it's you go to the Humble library, your Humble library, you log in, you register the Humble auth key, or whatever they called
Show
it.
me a O-off.
You register it with your Steam account, and whenever you buy a bundle, it automatically enables all the Steam games in that bundle. Well, automatically. Personally, I haven't connected my Steam account yet because
I'm
What's the
actually
point?
doing it right now. I'm curious to see how involved the process this is.
yeah, they do have an FAQ that they address some of the privacy concerns that, but what's Humble going to be able to see in my Steam account and what are they
Privacy
going to be
is a
able to
big
do?
thing, man, because Humble's a fucking faceless corporation concerned about one thing: making fucking money.
This is actually taking a
Yep.
while. Like, I clicked this a good minute ago, and it's still trying to.
It takes a while, yeah.
Well, we'll see.
It's basically the same
will it
thing
be
you
done
already
by the
did.
time we finish talking about the story? Is the question.
It's basically the same thing you already do with your Steam and your Facebook account if you want to connect it to.
And your Twitter account if you want to link it to a third-party app.
Yeah. Only now it automatically registers keys for bundles you buy. It has good intentions behind it. I can see where they're coming from.
So
but
now, instead of doing that with the Steam keys, the people will be multiplying Steam accounts, sending to that, and selling that particular Steam account. So
yeah,
they're just
now
trading
they're
the
just going to
games
sell
out back
Steam
and forth.
accounts.
So they have multiple copies of it. They're just making things that much more difficult, and the people who are going to abuse this will easily find a way around it. And now I have to share my personal data with everybody, and everybody's happy and fine, right?
It's for your own
pretty
good, citizen.
No, I'm not even a privacy nut, man. I mean, I'm all about Googs, you know. Googs is like, yeah.
You went.
Yeah.
Didn't you go and sign the knot with them this week? You got your unique Google URL published, wasn't that right?
Yeah. So no, it
Yeah.
really is plus Vinstone. But then the next morning I saw that Pedro got his, and I did not feel. I was like, I'll give him to anyone now. So
Actually,
Kinda
I got
sucked
it
some of the
at the same
special
time
out of
you
it.
did.
I got the
it at the
notification
same
for that.
time
I'm
you
like,
did.
huh.
I just didn't
All right, I'll
register
do
for
that
it.
when they stop annoying me to the point of like. I don't know. Anyways, once upon a time, the world ended and everyone got eaten by zombies.
made with my
Or
favorite thing, pixels.
Pixels. Yeah,
Pixels!
it's a browser game though.
Yeah.
It works best under Google Chrome, which implies that it is some kind of HTML5 JavaScripty game,
Mm-hmm.
which is it's nice to see. Like I'm 100% behind the whole Mozilla web as a platform for content delivery thing, including games, because you have stuff like ASM.js lets you compile C++ code into JavaScript and so on. Neat stuff. But this is, well, Pedro, you played a lot more of it than I did. I played about 5 minutes. But you can choose whether it's in
yeah.
Portuguese
I
or in
didn't-
English.
Yep, it's made by a Brazilian team, so you get to pick between Portuguese and English. And from what I could tell, it's basically, if you're watching the latest season of The Walking Dead, it's basically The Walking Dead's council simulator with pixels. You make decisions on who does what and how to manage the resources and all that. And then you end the turn, and on the next day you reap up the rewards and you get a detailed description of what happened, how many people died, how many zombies are still alive, all that.
Yeah,
It's
zombie comic line. Dun, dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun, brains. Dun, 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 brains. Dun, 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 brains. As Clink has so adequately put it.
So that's
But
the thing.
yeah,
Where they can find
it's,
it? Where can they find it?
They can find it at
zombie-apoc.com.
zombie-apoc.com.
Hmm.
It's it looks like an HTML5 game.
It's also available in the Chrome App Store. Just saying.
Yeah, so probably HTML5 JavaScripty type thing. But a machine for penguins has come to a close on penguins.
Well, before we
Yes.
get into that, we need to talk about LeadWorks 3.1. It is the beta finally.
Oh yes, I guess that is the attached piece of news, isn't it?
Yeah.
So- oh no! Don't get me started. I'm doing it hardcore. I go from the middle of the story to the beginning of it, all the way to like the last 6
'Cause you
stories
like working backwards.
before going to the very end. Because fuck you.
He's random, ladies and gentlemen. Random.
No.
Well,
Fu-
you know what? I attribute it entirely to my use of a barometer.
You need a good barometer.
I just got a barometer actually.
Hot. No, this is a thing. The betas are out for the Kickstarter backers. You guys need to send me my copy, even though I didn't back the Kickstarter, but I've shamelessly plugged this so many times along with my cohorts, and I want to futz with it.
Code blocks on Ubuntu, according to that screenshot. Using
Yes, unfortunately, you're wondering,
Unity.
what is a LEDWorks? How do I play a LEDWorks? It doesn't sound like a very interesting game, Vin. And Vin will say, well, it's a fucking engine, you dumbass, and it's probably beyond
Yep.
your comprehension. But for the rest of you people, yeah, it's another game engine actually ported to Linux. Glares at Unity.
Well, wasn't it always designed so that it would they wanted a high quality development environment for creating professional quality games on Linux.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what so it wasn't really a port. It was like an outright project for this.
Yep, that's why they ran the Kickstarter. The
Yeah.
Kickstarter was meant to port LEDWorks to Linux to create said environment. And it's a lot more than the Unity devs have been doing.
So everything's
Yeah.
cricket, but tell them about the sub contest.
Yeah, this is, as you may remember from a couple of months back, we mentioned about a competition going on ledworks.com about a machine for penguins, which you had to create a game that used the new cog system in the engine that works under Linux. And
I'm
that
sorry,
competition
you said
is
cogs, right?
cogs. Yes, cog.
You said
system.
cogs? Say cogs again.
Cog system.
You know what that sounded like.
Yes, I know what that sounds like. But no. A Machine for Penguins is now over, and you can find all the entries in the, well, they have a nav bar there that you can just click A Machine for Penguins. Just look for those
Lots of
entries
5-star
that have-
reviews, you know. We have Roboland, Golden
Yep.
Elements, Green Freak.
Dungeon Master.
I
High
think
Roller,
Cold
Turbo
Feet is
Ninja.
the highest rated one. No.
Midnight Salsa game. You know what? You can always go for some Midnight Salsa.
Midnight Salsa's the bee's knees.
Oh yeah.
But enough with the LEDWorks. Let's get with some racing. What do you say,
I do
Vin?
like racing games, but
You
not.
know, you guys are a bunch of racists.
You know, I might be a speed racist, but I never drink and drive, and this wants me to drink and drive, Payman.
Oh, yep.
Some
Because
wine.
they theoretically they claim iRacing adds Linux to existing Mac and PC platforms. That all sounds very good until you actually download the client, which they even have an alpha repo for it. And if you open that repo, you see a zip file which after extracted it contains a deb file. If you open that deb file, what's in there? A wine wrapper.
What's in the box, Pedro?
Wine.
Now,
And
wine's
if the
good,
wine
but you know
wrap-
that's like porting in the same way. You know, fusing a hamster to this microphone with duct tape's not really the same thing. You know.
It's the way they said it adds Linux to the already existing PC and Mac platforms.
Mac and PC platforms.
Fuck
Because
people.
a Mac is not a PC.
No, it's
Yes,
not at
no.
all a personal computer at all.
It's a moon
No.
device.
It is a supercomputer from who are the companies that made supercomputers? Cray.
So cray
It was-
cray.
It was on the tip of my tongue, and I'm like, fuck, why can't I remember it now? Cray. It is a Cray supercomputer and not a personal computer.
That's so cray
Yep.
cray.
And if the wine wrapper wasn't bad enough, it's also a subscription-based MMO racing game.
No, P-Man, listen up. 2 free months with 1 month purchase of fuck all if I'm paying $12 period ever to race on an online. Nope.
And if I'm going to play an online racing MMO, I'm going to play a free one, and one that I know for a fact works stupidly well under Wine, which is Need for Speed World. I'm not going to pay $12 fucking a month to play a goddamn game, man.
You know, whenever you're done being a heathen and a heretic, hey man, get back to me about the one true racing game that runs under Wine stupidly well, and that is Trackmania Nation.
I think the moral of the story of this is don't whine and drive. Good advice.
Nope.
How about just port your damn game, man? I mean, this could have been interesting. I might have even give them 12 quid, you know, for a month. I was like, let's see what this is about, but it's not
if
a
it
port.
was an actual Linux port, not a fucking Wine wrapper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I guess
you
that
guys,
about
you guys
wraps
keep
it
bringing
up.
up racing games, and I'm just sitting here going, I don't give a shit.
You're humming Speed Racist, that's all it is.
Go speed racist, go speed racist.
But yeah, with
The racist
Jordan's
on me.
indifference, we wrap up the news for this week. Coming up next, a review we should have done 2 weeks ago.
You could say it's almost due.
It's almost due.
Shut up, get out the chairs.
And it's due time for Bionic Dues from Arson Games. You can find them at arsongames.com. This is a Unity game, shock and awe.
Woohoo!
Unity game on Linux GameCast. That's just unheard of.
Never had
Some
it.
sort of it's some sort of toolkit that lets you make, I don't know, can openers for Linux. It's $9.99. So
It's got
it's a-
features.
yeah, it has pictures. It's a little roguelike. It is very much a roguelike. So that's about it for what the game is. We have our crazy ass metric that I have to explain again and again and again because you people don't get it.
They'll
4-chair
never get
metric.
it.
1 chair means that it's shit. 2 chairs means that it's meh. 3 chairs means that it's good, and 4 chairs means that it's orgasmic.
Giggity.
And of course, we have our 4 categories of Doom mixed with the working, which does it work? Does it function as advertised? How well does it function? Shiny and sounds, which is, you know, how good it looks and how good it sounds, all that good stuff. Controls, self-explanatory, and fun. Did you enjoy yourself? Now then, did Bionic Dues from Arson Games Limited Liability Corporation make with the working?
Did I have fun with that game? Yeah. Well, first
We'll
we
get-
gotta
we'll get to
find
that.
out whether or not it works. And, well, it did. We're just taking a look bit at the video because I want to get that queued up before we really get rolling. But get ready, because you should be playing the drinking game on our soon-to-be-retired Ubuntu 12.04 LTS 32-bit NVIDIA powered Steamboxing. I gotta give it what it deserves. 4 chairs out of the box, not a hitch. Being Unity, we've come to expect that except for that one game, and you know who you are.
Oh, yeah.
Indeed. Yeah, that's pretty much it. 4 chairs on AMD and NVIDIA graphics on Fedora 18 64-bit.
And if Ven's Steambox is going to be retired, mine's been at the home for the past
yours is
8
a
years.
necrophiliac, man.
It's,
Yeah.
So it's like one of
Because I
those
tried-
thriller zombies.
I finally got around to installing Ubuntu 13.10 on my
It was good knowing you,
8
Shabuntu.
my 8-year-old desktop PC because the people from Shadowrun they wanted me to, so. But yeah, it runs out of the box, no problems on either my calculator or that 8-year-old box with an NVIDIA card. No problems whatsoever.
Raining out 4 chairs.
For makes with the
Makes
working.
with the working. Shiny and sound. So then, were your earbuds tickled and your taste buds vibrated? Yes. Cities howling cries. I guess that
Clear the
says
city
more.
of the robot rat. Right, this just kind of reminds me of Bag of 288, but it's actually a catchy little tune.
Back at 288, back at 288, back at 288, back at 288. I'll
The
tell you what.
leaders of the Germans created an artificial mind.
The monster of a murderous machine can never be defeated.
Strangely befitting.
Shiny and sounds, man. I mean, we were just taking a look at it here. We'll subject ourselves to it. It looks like what you would expect a roguelike to look at. Nothing that's going to blow your brain organ in the slightest.
It kind of sounds like a James Bondish theme.
Yeah, it's got its own little funky vibe to it. With a shiny, yeah, it's kind of simplistic, but when you consider what most roguelikes look like, it's kind of hella sweet. The sounds, they're good. I mean, the intro music, pretty good, but I mean, the further you play into it, it's just a little on the repetitive side. That's why I couldn't give it all 4 chairs, but I'm going to give it a tres.
Yeah, you know what? For what it is, I mean, the game looks fine. It's a roguelike, so you really aren't expecting top-of-the-line graphics. But, you know, again, for the type of game that it is, the graphics are acceptable. You can see everything clearly. No real issues there. I gave the sound. I wrote this down. I was actually too busy listening to Slayer the first time while I was playing through this game, and then I'm like, oh well, I guess I do have to go and pay attention to the soundtrack for a bit, and it doesn't really do it for me. But I'm not gonna hold that against the game. That's more of a taste issue. So for shiny and sounds, I'll give it 3 chairs.
I die. Well, on my end, graphics, like Jordan and Ven already said, they don't really matter because it's a roguelike. But if they did matter, and as far as roguelikes are concerned, this game would have to get 5 chairs. But that's not the case, so going to the sound end of the spectrum, the first time I booted it, I had MP3s playing in the back, and I was like, wait, there's a background music. I stopped the MP3s and I sat there for a good 10 minutes just listening to the main menu BGM, just sweet. And okay, granted, Ven already sort of touched on this, the NPC quips. Why was I programmed to feel pain?
Why was I programmed to feel pain?
The NPC quips may get old after a while, but I'm 21 hours in and they still haven't, so 4 chairs.
You know, it's odd that these robots are all Christian scientists.
Yes, but the robot, what if they replaced the robot quotes with something from, I don't know, Turkeytron or Gondolons?
Millions of years ago in the... I think you would actually drive people insane and drive them to kill all the robots. But anyways, Shiny and Sounds gets 3 chairs from us. Ven, did you feel like you're in control?
Never in control, and kind of at odds with this because I've played several roguelikes, but only to the point of like, could be fun, but it's too much of a time sink, and I want to do things like, I don't know, leave the house on occasion.
Not really, Ven. We know you.
Yeah. Everything was tight with the controls, keyboard, wireless dribble. Didn't have too big of an issue with it. Did think some of the targeting in Genesis was just a bit obtuse. But once I figured that out and what went splody and what did go splody and how to make things go splody, and the AI,
The AI.
I'll get to that later on, but we're talking about control. Control's decent. No issues with it. I mean, 3 chairs. Like I said, the initial targeting, figuring some, sorting that out, you might have to read an instruction or dos.
Yeah, that was a weird thing I found out about that. Was I hopped in the game like, oh, this will be fairly self-explanatory. Nope, gotta go to the menu and check out what the controls actually do, or else you'll be a tiny bit lost. But once that's all sorted out, like Ben said, the controls are acceptable for what the game is. Everything is tight. The targeting is really weird, but it's a tile-based combat game, so that kind of goes with the territory. I have no real issues with the controls. 3 chairs.
And I guess I'm still the one dissenting voice.
You
in this
are
review.
just like sucking this game's cock. You are
The game is
voracious.
good, but we'll get to that. It's a roguelike. The control scheme is what you're expecting, barring a couple of new things specific to this particular game. But it's intuitive, and anyone familiar with the genre will figure it out in a matter of minutes. I was originally going to give 3 chairs in this particular session, but over the past couple of weeks, they've released a series of updates, and they've actually nuked the one issue I had with the camera controls, and they've nuked it out of the game. You can't even see it anymore. So, for my end, 4 chairs for the controls.
Yeah, that averages to 3 chairs. Yes. So, finally, our last subjective category, and only subjective category. Fun. Ben,
Fun,
did
fun,
you have
fun,
jollies?
Funnerty fun.
Somebody spam.
Spam, no spam, spam be damned. Hey, let's be honest with each other. I enjoyed it for what it is, and roguelikes are simply not my dice, not by a long shot. But something I did want to touch on, and the reason I couldn't give it 4 chairs, even not because I dislike roguelikes, because I'll play a game for what it's supposed to be. You know, if you give me Weasel Masturbator 3000 and it does an accurate
he will
job
masturbate those weasels.
at masturbating weasels, I'll give it 4 chairs. But if it doesn't, even though I'm not a huge fan of masturbating weasels, I don't judge if you are. But here's the thing. AI in this thing is, stupid. If you're a patient man, you'll win this game without any effort whatsoever. You can make that AI do whatever you want. It's not that clever, in my experience. So I couldn't really give it the 4 chairs, and I'm not knocking it for being a roguelite. So, you know, give it about 3 chairs.
All right, 3 chairs. Yeah. You know what? I kind of hated it at first, but as I played it, it started to grow on me. Like a good case of, I don't know, some disease where stuff grows on you.
Cancer.
It reminds me a lot of Doom the Roguelike in that it's a rogue shooter type game. So once I kind of figured that one out, I'm like, oh, well, this isn't too bad. Just have to hold down shift a whole bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Then why was I programmed to feel pain? That got a chuckle out of me when I first heard that. Because yeah, I love Simpsons references. You know what? We need a Mr. X style game.
Mm.
Yes. Hold still as I gas you. But anyways, I had fun for what the game was. Not my favorite thing. Kind of hesitant to give it 3 chairs, but I mean, for what it is, it's pretty good. No complaints. So 3 chairs. And now Pedro will orgasm all over your monitor.
No, I'm actually going to agree with Ven that the AI is a bit stupid. Because, and evidence of that, and I have the achievements to prove it, is that I finished the game on hard difficulty using a party of only science exos, the mechs you control. Without ever losing a single mission, without DHQ ever taking a single point of damage, I managed to beat it. But that only, to me, that makes the game fun. And just pushing the limits to see just how stupid the AI really is. Tickles me the right way, and I like it. And it's a freaking time vampire. Linux Nuru from Chatrealm, he's been talking out my throat. He's been in Chatrealm's dynamic, talking all along the review, and he's already sunk 78 hours into it. I only have like 21, but it's a good game. And to me, in the fun category, it gets what is fair, 4 chairs.
Sure. Well, again, averages up to 3 chairs. I sense a pattern here. Then, do you sense a pattern?
I sense no things.
Pedro, pattern, anything?
Patterns. No, I'm the wrench guy.
So,
You keep telling yourself that, sweetheart. So the final score for this game, Bionic Dues. Guess what? It's justly due 3 cheers.
What you tried to do there, I almost saw it.
It sounded more clever in my head.
It makes with 3 chairs, and that means check it out.
Check it out. Yeah, it's $10. You can probably get it on sale for less.
Yeah, and the Christmas sale is coming.
Brace yourself, winter is coming.
And by that, he means your genitalia because it gets chilly.
Yes. So, final thoughts, ladies, gentlemen. Well, who are we kidding, gentlemen? Well, you know what, lady and gentlemen.
Fuck off.
I was talking about Pedro, but
I
sure.
know, don't send my hoe. For the price, if you like roguelikes, this is an instant buy. Just do it. Do yourself a favor. You'll enjoy it. There's no way not to enjoy it. It'd probably be an awesome mobile game, right, Pedro?
Yep. Yes, it would be.
But it might be fun with a bit of multiplayer too. Have like a couple robots.
Roguelikes with multiplayer.
I don't know. I got the sense like, oh, maybe if you have like another person, maybe on a tablet or something,
Randomly running around shooting shit without no explanation. Yeah, I'd be into that.
Yeah,
Like, there's Vin.
but for $10 for what it is, it's worth it. There are plenty of games out there that cost $60 that don't offer half the fun that this game offered me.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up. All right. So that was Bionic Dues, a game that we liked. Coming up next, your hate mail that we read live on air, mostly directed at me this week. So that's going to be fun.
What? Yes, you scream in our direction after we get done screaming in yours. And on rare, albeit, well, it's not really that rare. We do it every week. It's called the hate mail section, and here's how you do it. Check this out. Head over to LinuxGameCast.com, click on Contact, give us a stinky name, some stinky email, a subject, your message.
Stinky message.
Lightly. And some britches if you have them.
Thank
Do a
you,
little
Bridges.
capture, a little bit of maths, sing a little song, and get down tonight. But once you do that, we'll put it in a collection, we'll pick out the worst of the worst, hate mail, and read it live on air to get us started this evening. This one's directed towards the J-Man from a very distinguished user, KimoBrotron01.
And he says, I looked at your show notes, and somehow you have a different result than in the video. Is Jordan really that bad at math? I mean, in the first category, 4 plus 3 divided by 2 is equal to 2. So what is that? Final score is actually 2 chairs instead of 3 chairs. What the hell heck? Hey, man, it's called dyscalculia. It's like dyslexia, but for math, and it's a real fucking thing. I hope you feel good about kicking a man while he's down, asshole. Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm shitty at math. Fuck it. Screw you guys.
Up next is the brilliance that comes out of the trap of Aaron B. And he says, Abba Zaba, could you guys please stop acting high? Acting?
Acting.
There is no acting.
You're fucking adorable is what you are. That's
Yeah.
exactly what you are. You see this? This is this is the last one. Why? Because I need to get up in about 5 hours and I want to be sober. So I'm only having 12 beers tonight.
Light beers.
Right. This man, he's probably only smoked half a fucking bowl per 30 minutes.
It's cute when he tries to talk about things that he has no knowledge of. But yes, well, I'm sober now, but for the most part, yeah, I'm lightly toasted throughout the entire thing.
Mildly wrecked.
Yes. And then there's this guy. You don't even
Hey.
want to know what kind of
Port
shit
wine.
this person puts in his
There's the
system.
reason
Bath
Portugal
salts
is known
like
for
fucking-
port wine. Okay?
Crocodile.
He
Okay.
crocodile. He goes into
Crocodile.
dead people's brains and like inserts a syringe into their skulls, extracts the chemicals, and then injects them into his neck. This guy is fucked up.
Wrecked.
You're making me hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Your face looks a lot like a cheeseburger now.
Explains the erections.
I
Oh,
know, right?
yeah.
You know, he's not only fighting sleep deprivation, he's
He's
also fighting
drunk.
cheap Portuguese beer.
And port wine, which my glass is now empty of. I need to find more.
But basically, at the end of the day, Aaron
You,
B,
you should,
what
you
we're
should
telling
play with
you,
those muskets too.
what we're telling you is you should probably watch the show live, where we actually get tanked.
Yeah. Indeed. So Pedro, last hate mail. She's all yours.
Chris, something about a couple of games. Love the show. I've watched all of the shows and have not seen these two mentioned. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of them or if there's another reason. And then he puts up a link for X-Plane, Linux support for a long time, nice demo as well, and Pioneer Space Sim, an open source elite on steroids, currently in alpha but works very well. Compiled binaries or source available. Very easy to compile. Keep up the great work.
Also doesn't allow
Chris.
black people in space because they're pioneers.
Yes. Actually, I went through the show notes, and by went through the show notes, I mean I just typed the names of these two games into the search bar on top, and yes, we have not addressed either one of them. X-Plane, we addressed Flight Gear, which is similar in a way, and it's free. While this one you actually have to pay for. So is it that better a flight simulator? Eh. And as for a Pioneer Space Sim, I didn't like Elite. I don't know. Did you guys ever play Elite? I didn't like it.
Nope.
Nope. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not our cup of
fascinating stuff.
Not our cup of tea.
So, since it's a little quiet, let's go ahead and cue some music, and J-Man tell him.
Oh yeah, you can groove on over to linuxgamecast.com/podcast. We got lovely links. You should click on all of them. A few of them will link back to our website, but nothing that claims an external source, unlike certain websites out there. Products! Yes, we also have our forums, Chat Realm statically linked. Then that's our YouTube page. There's our forums. There we are. Chat Realm static, where we are the other 6 days of the week. We have our forum set up. Join with any account, and we're always in there posting random crap. YouTube.com/LinuxGameCast has lots and lots of videos that you should watch and give us all that ad revenue. Facebook.com/LinuxGameCast returns a 404 error. You should probably stay away from there. And finally, reddit.com/r/Linux_gaming, where there is a lot of nifty stuff and where we get a lot of our stories for this week's podcast. So check that out, post, and something you may say may end up on this train wreck. How about that noise?
Who be you?
Who be I? I be Jordan Quang or something like that. You can find me at the Burning Fool or plus Jordan Svung on Twitter or Google Plus.
Man, how the hell do you read that? Pedro Mateas. And you can find me at unaccounted4 on Twitter and plus Pedro Mateos on Google Plus.
And with one syllable in each of his names.
At Vin Stone on the Twitter nets, plus Vin Stone Actual. Literally a plus Vin Stone like the rest of us now. The unwashed masses. And that's going to conclude another horrible train wreck that we like to call Linux GameCast Weekly. So I guess there's only one thing left to do. Just one.
And that is...
Promote products at the lovely people.
KFC!
Yeah.
Products, not dead failed projects.
not dead distributions.
Still a
Pedro.
product.